Unsyndicated presents Off the Air with Sean Baligian.
Hi, how are you? Everything well? Fantastic then. Glad you could join us again here on a Tuesday night in a busy, busy week for Unsyndicated. We've got we've got the viewing party, we've got a special show coming up Thursday. Stay tuned for that. MHSAA, and then I got my buddy Blake. Hi, Blake.
Hi. How are you?
You know, it's like the soap opera. We have to start with this.
Mm-hmm.
How did everything go? Is it okay? We got more rain? How's your garage? Is everything all right?
So no, I didn't get any significant rain today. My yard's
Okay.
all good. We got everything pumped out, drained out yesterday. So by the end of the podcast, everything had basically receded. There was still a little water in the garage, but it was like too low to pump out. And so I had the squeegee and I was moving the water around just to kind of get out as much out of the garage as I could. But you know, everything is looking good, but hopefully we don't get significant rain tonight because I know that there's some in the forecast. So I'm a little worried about that.
You know, I have to repeat what we talked about yesterday, though. Tell me this wasn't like a total fall day. This was like just an absolute total fall day because, like today, we had the mist coming down and where you know it just misted for like 3 straight hours. It was just glorious. I had to drive by the cider mill just on principle. I did. Like
I
I
think
just
you're
got my
addicted
car.
to driving by the cider mill.
I love the cider mill so much. Do you have any idea? Do you know what it means to my life? Seriously, I'm not joking. But the cider mill is so much more than just the cider mill. It's college football. I mean, it means so many, you know, great memories with like my dad, things like that. You know what I mean? So that's why, like for me, yeah, it's a happy place. Blake, is that the best way to say it?
Yeah. No, that makes
All right.
sense.
Can I need to ask you something.
You need to say the
And
thing before
I'm
you go any further.
all right. Yeah, Blake, by the way, WJR, Mitch Album Show, and Sports Rap.
I haven't had to remind you in a
So
while.
when I was younger, and which was a long, long time ago, you were younger not so long ago.
Mhm.
When people would carry on about like how hungover they were and things like that, I thought that they were doing it looking for attention. Did you ever go through that phase where I'm not joking, Blake. I didn't discover hangovers until one January 1st morning where I was like, "Oh my gosh, what the heck happened to me?" Dude, I was 23 years old.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I thought up until the time I was 23 years old, I thought that honestly that they were a myth. You know, I didn't believe it. I thought it was like, all right, this guy's a hero. Yeah, man, I had so much to drink last night, bruh. Now I'm paying for it today. Like that was like I was like, okay, dude, you're the coolest. You're the best ever, right? Animal
Yes.
House, you and Belushi, showing my age.
Haven't seen it.
And then like I got a hangover at 23. Was that like your experience or no?
Yeah, I distinctly remember my first hangover because I was in it was like similar age, like 22, 23, and I decided that I was going to get drunk off of a box of wine. And that hangover is
Mm-hmm.
like it's different than any other hangover I've ever experienced in my life. I haven't touched wine since that day. And the headaches
You're
and everything.
yeah, you're getting a little wacky. I think your sound, Todd. Were you catching that? Blake was getting a little wacky there with the sound a little bit, just a little bit. I couldn't tell, but all right.
He said no.
It sounds like you're back. Oh no, maybe it's on my end. It wouldn't be the first time. So here's Blake, this is what I mean, I remember 23, I felt like I got hit by a truck. But then you start to figure yourself out, right? You legitimately start to figure yourself out, and you're like, if I stay the course, if I just drink one thing and I slam water, I'm going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine, and I'm going to be okay. So I haven't had too many since then. I really, I know what I'm doing. I know what I shouldn't be doing, et cetera, et cetera. Ray said, box of wine. Who does Blake think he is? Andre the Giant. So the other day, I had my card game where it's like basically all Friday night, all day Saturday into Sunday morning. And it's one of those things, Blake, where like no joke, we started around noon on Saturday. And I was doing the good little boy thing, and I'm just doing one thing. Everything's cool. Don't worry about it. Everything's cool. And then the next thing I know, hey, let's do a shot. And when
That's
you
the
mix in
downfall.
shots, dude, you're in trouble. You know that. Like,
Yep.
you're just in trouble. Okay. And then it was, let's do another shot. And then it was, let's do another shot. And then it was, okay, let's do another shot. I'm not joking. That was Saturday, right? We started, by the way, I'm not saying this to be PC. Everybody's in my basement. Nobody's driving anywhere. It's not like we go out. We're just hanging out in my basement, right? I'm not joking. So that was, I don't know, like around noon, 12:30 on Saturday into Sunday morning. It is Tuesday evening and I'm still feeling it.
I've had
Goodness,
those.
I am still feeling it. Right?
Yes. 100%. I've had those
It's
days.
incredible.
So my bachelor party
I'm like,
was a year ago, and the hangover I had in the middle of my bachelor party, I thought I was dead. I was like looking up IV places
no
to
kidding.
try. It was horrible. It was brutal. I can't do it anymore.
I'm telling you, no, dude, I'm telling you, it's so not worth it. Like, so Sunday, I made myself go to the gym. I mean, I felt like both my arms were about 500 pounds. I mean, honestly, I felt just awful. Then it was like, all right, you know what? I am going to go on the elliptical and I'm going to sweat it out. I'm just going to sweat it out. And nope, like that didn't work. And then I started to feel a little bit better yesterday. And then I stayed up late and watched the hockey last night. And honest to goodness, like I woke up again today and it was like, dude, are you serious? Like, and I don't know for guys my age, okay? And for the record, I'm 53 years old, okay? For guys my age, is that like an age thing? Or is it just because I made the critical rookie mistake of mixing in a bunch of shots like I was 25? Because I don't know the answer to that. You know? I really don't. All right, Blake, you talk for a second. I'm going to restart this, okay? Is
Okay.
that cool?
Yeah.
All right, God
So
bless you.
so I have definitely been in Sean's boots 100%. And it's all about like you have to learn your limits obviously, but then you think to yourself like, "Oh, this was my limit at some point in life." And then you come back to it and it's not your limit anymore. That is for sure. So obviously we see some people in the chat chiming in on this. Bill says that's why I gave up drinking 18 years ago. Drinking made me the worst version of myself. Good for you, Bill. Good for you, man. That's awesome. 21 Sean Prob could have. Hey, you're back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you, but it's just chopping in and out. I don't I don't know what the issue is here tonight.
We're battling through some
whatever.
internet things.
But
For
fix.
once, it's not me.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me. I'm not having any problems here. I mean, that's a crazy thing. So, But it is like, so, like, honestly, and maybe like what Todd said, have to keep that tolerance in shape, exercise it regularly. Maybe I don't do it that much. I really, truly don't. Now, 10 years ago, yeah, I did it. I'd have my whiskey a night. There's no other way to say that. I mean, legitimately, it was like a whiskey a night. And I'll go 6 months without, whatever the case may be. And this is a situation where, like, honestly, I'm not joking. Um, I can't, I can't do it like I used to do it. And again, is it age? Is it, I don't know. Is it I mixed in the shots? But to feel like garbage, and I mean garbage, a couple days later, I think it's exactly what Bill said. It's like, dude, why am I even doing this? Like, what's the point? Why am I even doing this? Right? I
No,
don't
I
know.
agree.
That's the way I look at it. Because dude, it's not worth it. It's not. It's just not worth it. And
I will say
usually I'm a
though,
sweated out guy.
go ahead, finish your thought.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I went out on the boat Saturday and I had my share of drinks. And but it was more of a daytime thing. So I went to bed
Yeah.
early and I woke up Sunday and I felt fine. I felt great. So I think it's all like time and duration too.
Yeah. Yeah. Claire said, I think it's age. It takes me a couple days to feel decent again after overdoing it. And Nick said, I get a headache after 2, 3. No, it's so I stopped, I would say about 2:45 in the morning. So it would be Saturday night, well, really Sunday morning. And my usual routine is hammer a bunch of waters. I just hammer a bunch of waters, like to the point where I can't drink any more water before bed. So it wasn't so much the headache. Like, dude, I'm not joking. My body hurt. I mean, my body legitimately hurt. So it was a situation where I'll be fine into Monday. And I thought I was feeling a little bit better yesterday, but then today it's the same thing. It's like I took my old man walk. I went on the elliptical. My legs were dead. Then I was like, I'm going to take my old man walk too. Didn't work.
Have you
Just
have you
didn't
tried
work. I
have you
want to go to
tried
bed right now.
Pedialyte? Pedialyte is a
No, I
game
should.
changer. That will
Yeah, I
I'm
should
telling
have.
you, it works.
Yeah, yeah, I should have, no doubt. Ben said it's age. When I partake in that type of stuff, I only drink till I get a very light buzz. Have been that way since college because I hate that feeling. Yeah, I get it. Let's see. Legal marijuana is a game changer. I got my younger coworkers on CC and water at a team building event in Rochester, though. That's my jam. CC and water is my jam. It's been, just a splash of water. And Ray said, Sean, was any of your kids' friends over and you got challenged to all those shots? No, actually, it was one of my buddies. One of my buddies was like, let's do shots. And then it was like, all right, well, we'll do this shot. And then it was like, we'll do that shot. And then, oh, dude, let's get the fireball. And Blake, you know the routine? It's, I know I shouldn't be doing it, but I did it. Does that make sense?
100%. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Drove me out of my mind. Demon alcohol. Yeah. How many times have you said in your life, I'm never drinking again? That's like a 23, 24-year-old thing, right? Oh, if I feel better, I'm never going to drink again. But then the problem is you figure yourself out. Like for me, I figured myself out. It was like, I'm cool if I stick to one thing and I hammer a bunch of waters. I'll be fine the next day. Nah, boy, my body just hurt for 2 days, dude. No joke.
It's the shots, man. Shots will do that. 100%. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, when you switch it up, man, when you switch it up, there's no doubt about that. Hey, let me take care of some business here. One of the things we like to do is obviously talk about the people that the reason we can do this is because of fine people like our friends at Legacy. Did you know that thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy Partners to get help with their home and auto insurance. Our friends at Legacy Partners are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents, and they provide a full service, one stop solution for all of your insurance needs, whether it be personal, business, large, or small. They got your back. Listen, give them a call, get your quote. They are going to help you like they have helped so many people out there by fixing mistakes that other agents have made, asking the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you. And oh, by the way, help save you some money at the same time. Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you're paying too much and you could be underinsured. Enter our friends at Legacy. They're going to save you money. What are you waiting for? Give them a chance to help with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, business insurance needs. Call them today, 586-209-4106, or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your new quote. Ben, how dare Mike challenge you like that? It wasn't Mike. I can't blame Mike, I swear. Now, Mike and I have been in some pretty bad spots before, but this one wasn't Mike. Nick said, I used to tailgate at MSU, then at the Silverdome. Tim said, anyone who challenged me to drink, I disassociate myself with them. Bill said, I want to do shots with the Legacy Partners. Wait, we could probably arrange that. See, Blake, you and I are cut from the same cloth. I am not go to a tailgate and drink guy. I like people. No. People get ticked at me, you especially when we were doing the Lions. Hey, dude, come to my tailgate. I'll come to your tailgate, no problem. But I think people expect you to sit there and pound, and that's just not me at games.
No, I agree 100%. Especially if it's a game that I care about, I want to go and I want to have my wits about me when I go to the game. I don't want to not remember it. If I'm going to a game, especially because as you and I are on the same page with this, I don't even enjoy going to games. If I'm going to a game, I want to enjoy the experience. I'm not there to drink and party. Yep. I can do that anywhere.
I'll have a beer, like literally, if I'm not broadcasting, of course. Like that's one thing I'm being very serious. Like I don't mess around with that. If I have a broadcast to do, I'm not having any. But if I'm at a tailgate at like a Spartan game, and going up this fall to, go see some games with my daughter, I'll have a beer. I'll have a beer. But it's like, dude, I want to go in the game and sit there and just go in my tunnel vision. Where you're just watching the game and you're just so totally focused on the game. That's the way I've always been. Trust me, even when I was younger. I was never go have a bunch of drinks before the game guy. That was never, ever my scene. I mean, never, ever, ever my scene. So, listen, dude, to each their own, right? I have no issue if you're the guy that does that. I mean, go do what you need to do. I hope, Blake, people don't take that the wrong way. I'm trying to shame them or anything. That's just not my scene is the best way to say it.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. You brought up Spartan games too this year, and that just popped in my mind because we didn't talk about this last week. How do you feel about your Spartans having a couple October, November Friday night games?
I don't like that. I got to be honest with you. I don't like it. The first one is cool. Like they kind of made a tradition out of that.
Yeah, but that's not happening this year.
And I know it's not. I know that's the crazy thing. The first one didn't bother me for whatever reason. The later in the year, come on. No. I don't like it at all. I saw a lot of people saying Friday night is for the prep and for high schoolers and everything. I'm not necessarily going to agree with that. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, I don't know. That's like saying Christmas Day is for the NBA. Come on. If there's money to be made, these guys are going to go make money, right? If they feel they can make money off of a thing like that, they're going to go make money. I mean, let's not be dumb about it. As Nick said, I don't like the Friday night games late in the season, nor do I. It just
Yeah,
no.
November 22nd, a Friday night game, and the other
Don't like
one is October 4th at Oregon. So it's a 9 o'clock kick on a Friday night.
Don't like it. No, don't like it. Well, here's the crazy thing about Thursday night, like Thursday night football, right?
Mhm.
When they came out with those Thursday night games in the early 90s or whatever, I thought it was the greatest idea ever, right? As long as it's not my team, right? Do you feel that same way? I don't mind Thursday night football, the college games. I mean, sometimes there's a good game, a lot of times it's a garbage game, but more often than not, especially compared to as we joked about before, every single week it seemed the NFL had Tennessee and Jacksonville on. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd end up watching the college game, right?
Well, when the
I
Big
don't
East
mind the Thursday night game as long as it's not my team, if that makes sense.
when the Big East existed, it seemed like they played a bunch of games on Thursday nights.
Right.
And it was always like West Virginia Rutgers or like Louisville, Boston College. And like those were fun games that when that league was like actually a fun league, like back in like 2007, 2008. Like obviously the 2007 season was crazy. But I mean, I think that even during that season, there was like multiple number two teams that played on Thursday night. Like I think South Florida when they lost, that was a Thursday night game. I think the West Virginia one was a Friday night game when they lost, but like still there was good Thursday night college football back then.
I used to love it. You know what? I was working in the Mac when Bill said lights, camera, Maction. I was working in the Mac when they decided to do some of those, you know, different games. I thought it was brilliant, Blake. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And to that point, I've heard you say it. Um, a guy like you's always going to be in. Maybe you didn't know anything about Ball State. You didn't know anything about Buffalo. You didn't know anything about Miami. But if there's college football on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, my goodness gracious, yeah, you're in, right?
Yeah, and I can bet on it. It's great. I love it.
You know what? Now I have to look it up. Can you talk amongst yourselves? I'm going to look it up when the college football on Thursday night started because I remember when I was working at the bar in the early 90s. I think it was the Warwick Dunn game. Um, where it was FSU on a Thursday night. I want to say it was the early 90s that started. Just, but
I feel like
I'm gonna.
the ACC always has had like a Thursday night game randomly. Like the
Yeah,
ACC really took off with that. At ACC and then like I said Big East, they played a lot of those Thursday games. But I mean, I love it. I think with what the Sun Belt's doing too, like they're doing some weeknight games. It just gets more coverage for those leagues that don't get a lot of love. And there's
no,
especially like the Sun Belt, there's some really good teams in that league.
we were talking about that when we were talking about that last year when we were looking at the bowl schedule, right? I mean, it was just brilliant. Gosh darn it! I'm looking it up and I can't find anything. If you guys can find anything, let me know. But no, I vividly remember because bar night was always Thursday night on campus, and I remember like the bar stopping on a particular moment. I want to say it was Virginia and Florida State, and they got stuffed on the 1 yard line. 94, 95. It must have been in that. And I remember on a Thursday night, the bar stopped and was watching the game, which was very, very strange. You didn't come on a Thursday night at a sports bar. No, it never worked that way. Blake, if you can find that information, that would be fantastic
I'm
because
looking.
I
Do you hear me
seriously,
clickety clacking over here?
you're the best. Google is your friend. Well, my buddy who I was drinking with said, "Yeah, I think us staying up till 5 a.m. the first night didn't help either." That's a good point. Touche, Steve. That's a good
You're
point.
I'm saying this with all due respect. And remember, I'm saying this with all due respect. You are
Oh,
too
this
old
ought
to
to
be
be good.
staying up that late. You are. So am I.
You're not wrong. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I think I mentioned to you, I took like a 3-hour nap Sunday. Then I took like another nap. Then I took a nap yesterday. Then I took a nap today. 1-0 Rangers already. Jeez, oh Pete. Thank you, Coach, for that. Guys are going to be over my house tomorrow, so we're going to be doing the watch party again. Did you find that info, Blake? Because now I'm totally intrigued. I know I am not out of my mind. I totally remember watching that that Thursday night game and everybody going crazy. Look at you know what? I should have known. Look who's in there. My LB, little buddy. Florida State, Virginia, 95. It was FSU's first loss in the ACC. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Warwick Dunn get tackled at the 1-yard line, like on the last play of the game? Like I think that was the last play of the game, and everybody went nuts. Virginia beat them, and I just remember our bar went nuts. Ray said, "Have you watched the Memorial Cup yet?" Yes, I have. Knights are the team to beat. I haven't been up there yet, but I've watched it. Knights are definitely the team to beat. Make no mistake about that. Eric said all-nighters. Nope. So, yeah, Blake, I remember, I want to say in the early 90s, ESPN started firing up the Thursday night games. You know what? I can go even earlier than that. So Houston, after Andre Ware left, Houston had this, offense that, oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. And they played Miami on a Thursday night. I think that was 91. And Miami absolutely pasted them. This is back when the U was the U. You know what I mean? And so Miami pasted them on a Thursday night. I think that was maybe even the first Thursday night of the year. And that's so it's been going on that long. Hey, can I tell you about our friends at the Wealth Advantage Group? Is it all right if we look at those guys, the Handsome Brothers? I've watched a few college football games with those guys. And if you are ready to take charge of your financial future, look no further than the Wealth Advantage Group, located in historic downtown Northville and owned by two brothers with over 20 years of industry experience. They understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. That's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, or already in retirement, they can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life and have clients in over 20 states. The investment world, it is a complex one. But if you're ready to start taking your finances more seriously, it might be time to work with the experts. Reach out to my friends. I'm also a client of theirs, the Wealth Advantage Group, at 248-773-8574. That's 248-773-8574. Or check out their website at www.thewealthadv.com. Good stuff. All
Real
right,
quick,
good
because
stuff.
I was doing research because what I was talking about was bothering me. And
All right.
when in 2007 Rutgers defeated number 2 South Florida, I remember this game vividly. It was
Okay.
when Jeremy Ito kicked the game-winning kick, and that was on a Thursday night. I just remember the overhead shot of Jeremy Ito, which the fact that I remember this random Rutgers kicker's name tells you everything you need to know about me. But there was this shot where it panned over. It was like the sky cam, and he pointed up at the camera after the kick. It was awesome. And that was a Thursday night. And then when BC was up at number 2 that season as well, Florida State beat them on a Thursday night. That was the Matt Ryan team.
As Ben pointed out, ESPN started doing it in 91 per the New York Times. And then he said, and Ito pointed to the camera after the kick. See,
Yes.
I wasn't lying. It was Miami. See, now I'm going to look up just to prove it to myself. It was Miami and Houston. And believe it or not, Houston was a thing at one point in time. They were a thing at one point in time, and they played a Thursday night game, and everybody was trying to bill it up, and Miami just annihilated them. Like it was one of those, this is just ugly types of things. Okay, it was week 2. It was week 2. They beat Houston 40-10. 40-10. How about
And
that?
what? And you said that was after Ward, right?
No, Ward came after. Florida State came
Okay.
after. Ward's Heisman year was 93. Work done was the 95 game. That was the game that
Okay.
I was at the bar. But yeah, so I remembered that 91 game. And another reason I remember that is my brother was playing football for Stevenson at the time. And like we got done with the game. And so we raced home thinking, oh, we're going to see this great game. And Miami just was all over them. Miami went on to share the national championship that year with Washington. Ray said, do those guys offer to help your Canadian listeners? Hey, Ray, I'm not sure, but seriously, call Jeff and Mike. They're two friends of mine. Tell them that you know me, because Ray, we've known each other for a long, long time. Tell them that you know me, and I bet Mike and Jeff, if they can, they will. So seriously, do that. Bill said before the NFL stole the Thursday night space. Yeah. Well, Blake, we not that long ago, guys like you and I, we were always talking about it. If I had my druthers, I was watching college football on a Thursday night. That was
100%.
yeah. Sorry, that just until some of the games got pretty bad. Like they really. Would you agree with me? They watered down the Thursday night schedule quite a bit.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I mean, and they even used to do, like, even just a few years ago, like the Big Ten would open like on a Thursday night. Like I vividly remember, I believe it was Purdue, or no, it was Minnesota and Ohio State. They opened on a Thursday night on Fox. And then I think last year, Iowa, Penn State, or it was Penn State and someone opened on a Thursday night as well. It was Penn State, Purdue. So like the Big Ten will usually play like one of those games week 1.
Wasn't there? And then 2 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Indiana, Illinois. And Indiana completely in Hoosier-esque fashion blew a game to Illinois. I mean, absolutely handed it to them. Or maybe it was the other way around.
That was
I
on a
don't know.
Friday night because
Yeah,
Illinois
very early.
always,
Remember that? Remember
yeah,
that?
yep, and because Illinois always plays week 0.
Yeah.
They always play week 0 for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't think they do
Good.
this year though.
So you were mocking me last night, by the way, about the Edmonton Oilers.
I didn't mock
Well,
you. I just I put a valid question.
But listen, all jokes aside, Edmonton was all over them, and it is fascinating to me. And my buddy Botch, who does the Tiger shows with us, is an Oiler fan. How often that team blows leads. It is amazing to me. And I think one of the stupidest comments in sports, I'm serious, is oh, the 2-goal lead is bad. What are you talking about? I'd rather lead by 2 goals and be down by 2 goals. You know what I mean? I mean, I've never like the 2-goal lead is dangerous. What are you talking about? I want a 2-goal lead. Are you kidding me? It was amazing. I don't know if you stayed up and watched that last night. I was kind of hurting on the couch, longing for an IV. But it was amazing how the script flipped in that game. Dallas just turned it on in the second period, and you're like, holy crap, is this the same team that I just watched in the second half of the first period look like dog crap?
I mean, but it also comes down to what you've said the whole time, right?
Yeah.
It's goaltending.
Yep.
Like they don't trust their goaltender clearly. And
Sure.
when your team doesn't trust the goalie, like they're going to start playing tight. And that, from what I watched of it as a hockey outsider, that's the vibe I got. They started playing really tight, and then in crunch time it didn't go their way.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what he was doing on the eventual game winner. Like honestly, I'm serious how Robertson was able to fit that in. You got to hug that post. You can't be cheating when a guy's in tight like that. It blows my mind. So Bill said, I told you before, Oilers in 6. Well, they're going to have to take the next 3, to make that come to fruition. And I don't think it's going to. I'm going to stick with Dallas in 5. But we'll see how it goes. But I'll tell you what, it's got to drive. If you're an Oiler fan, like my buddy Mike, it's got to drive you nuts because, I've seen this out of them a few times this playoff where you're going, holy crap, this team is in complete control. And then it just and when I say all, I mean all falls apart. It was like the ice was like this. It was like it was tilted or something, As Rich said, the Oiler goaltending is Charles Barkley terrible. See, look at how nice Rich is. How is the water situation, Blake? See, for people just joining the show, Blake, you're cared for. Your people care about you, Blake.
I agree. I appreciate the question, Rich, and it is good right now. We're just hoping for not too much more rain, but everything has started to dry out, and there's no standing water in the backyard as of right now.
Yeah. I like to hear that. Nick said, if you're a Canada resident, you have to be tired of the 30-year no cup drought. It's unbelievable. It'll be 31 years June 9th. Not that I know anything about that. June 9th, 1993. Not that I know anything about that. Montreal 4, LA Kings 1. I still can't think. How the hell was that 31 years ago? My gosh.
That's how old I am. You're welcome.
You're too old to stay up.
So
you
am
should
I.
go to bed, Grandpa.
Okay, 5 a.m. is savage.
That was sad. That was sad. I can do it for the hockey games. My buddies, unless, like if I'm doing a morning show or something, obviously no. But my buddies the other night, every one of them bailed out for that game that ended, I don't know, like 1:15. Every one of them, like I'm in a group text and we'll all text each other. And one by one, they were like, you could see, all right, signing out. I was the only one that stayed up. I don't know if there's a game on, I can stay up. It's just like you and me in college football season. There are like literally 2 people in my life that I know are up watching a college football game at 1:00 in the morning. I'm not joking when I say this. Blake and handsome brother Jeff. Those are 2 guys I know at 1:00 in the morning. If I'm up watching some awful college football game, I know I can fire off a text to handsome brother Jeff or Blake and go, dude, did you see that? Like those are the only 2 human beings I know that can do that,
And that's why we get along so well.
I think so. Claire said Dallas has done that all year. They are a different team in the second. Yeah, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Because Edmonton blows leads constantly. Constantly. It's unbelievable, Nick said 5 a.m. I know, dude, that was half the, trust me, that's half the battle. Now that I think about it. Bill said when the levee breaks, Blake will have nowhere to go. Oh,
it's true.
Jeez. Pac-10 After Dark, we're familiar with that.
R.I.P.
I know.
Now it's Big Ten After Dark. Legitimately.
It's going to be so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be so weird. I'm not complaining about it, really. I'm not. It's going to be weird.
If you're mad about it and you were the same guy that last year was mad about like Big Ten teams not having a tough schedule, including Michigan, but also Ohio State, then you can't have both. It's either one or the other. All of this just leads to better matchups throughout the season. Michigan has 5 can't miss games, in my opinion.
I think it's great. Seriously. It's awesome. I love that. I've been one of those guys. I've been clamoring for that stuff for a long, long time. I really have. Now I understand it. More often than not, you don't have to play a tough OOC. You don't. I think for a time you did, and then it got to a point the last few years you really didn't have to. So yeah, whatever. Now it's going to be mainstay, man. I told you that's one of the worst bits up here, though. I can't stand it. I hear it all the time when somebody will say in the second or third week of November, way to go, Alabama! You're playing Furman. Oh, well, it's because remember earlier in the year when you were playing your Furman, the SEC schedules a lot of in-conference games very early in the schedule. You and I had a rant about that last year. That's why people have called me an SEC slappy for years. And it's like, do I enjoy the football? Absolutely I do. But yeah, I'm a Big Ten fan first, man. But I'm also somebody, let's be fair. If we're going to have that conversation, let's give it in its proper context. If you're playing a conference game the same week that we're playing one of the directional schools up here, you know what I mean? And I always thought that was kind of an unfair shot that people up here took at the SEC, if that makes sense.
And if we're being frank, I would say 90% of the time, I would much rather watch an SEC game than a Big Ten game. If you're giving
100.
me Indiana versus Iowa, or you're giving me Florida versus Auburn, I'm taking Florida versus Auburn every single
Totally.
time. It's
Totally.
just better football. I don't know what
Yep.
you want me to say.
I think I told you in the late 80s, that's what, man, my buddies used to go nuts at me because I would be watching, LSU in the afternoon. They're going, what are you doing? Except for 87 when Michigan State was going for the Big Ten title. But more often than not, I had the SEC on. I'm going to watch Todd Ellis down at South Carolina, and LSU always had guys firing the balls around. Yeah, it was fantastic.
I grew up on SEC on CBS. Vern Lundquist just whispering sweet nothings to me.
Yeah. Let's see. Sean's a huge App State fan, right? I have respect for the program, and it's not just because of the Michigan thing. I mean, that's that's 17 years ago now too. And oh, by the way, Michigan is the defending national champion. So I'm a big fan of shutting your mouth when you don't have anything to say. I'm a big fan of that. I wish my friends who were Michigan fans could have done that about 10 years ago, and maybe they learned a lesson. I don't know. But honestly,
that felt personal. That felt personal.
No, there are a lot of people out there. I mean, you and I have had this conversation. There were people that were taking shots at Michigan State for doing what they weren't doing. And it was so pathetic. It just was. And now when I see a lot of Spartan fans trying to take a shot at Michigan, it's like, dude, shut up. They just won a national championship. Like, shut up. Like honestly, shut up. Like, there comes a time where you just have to shut your mouth, right? Like, come on, give me a break.
No, but trouble with the snap happened, remember? In Appalachian State. All the pain happened, but I got the ultimate prize out of it. I'll take it all.
Yeah, that wins. Bill said, don't you find it insane USC, UCLA joined the Big Ten before Notre Dame did? Irish cowards.
I don't find it surprising because of their TV deal.
I don't either. And you know what? I think Notre Dame is going to hold out until they absolutely positively have to. And I'm not sure that day's ever going to come. That's the funny part. I'm not sure that day's ever going to come. Ben asked, are you ready for this? Okay, Blake, Vandy and Mississippi State or Wisconsin, Minnesota?
That's the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. I have to pick that one.
I get what Ben's saying, but I'll repeat, because I think you use this as a qualifier. A majority of the time, what'd you say, 80% of the time?
I would say 80 to 90.
Yeah, I'd rather watch an SEC game.
Mm-hmm.
I just, like, honestly.
It's a conference game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather watch an SEC game.
Now, if you replace, like, Minnesota there with Northwestern, because then you're giving me a really tough decision.
Nah. Ben said, I guess I'm insane. No, you're not insane. I mean, to each their own. Like Ben, honestly, if you had your druthers, you have, I don't know. Let me try to flip the script. Let me find two really good powers. How about let's go with Ole Mills. I'll go with Ole Mills taking on Auburn. Ole Mills taking on Auburn, or Nebraska and Penn State. You know what I mean? More often than I'll watch the SEC over that. Now, Michigan and Michigan State don't count for us, right? And I think you could probably include Ohio State in that mix. But yeah, more often than not, I'd rather watch the SEC. It's more exciting to me. It has been for a long time.
If you give
He said
me,
he's still taking the big game over that. No, dude,
it's
to each your own, man. Yeah, totally cool. I don't have a problem with it.
and honestly, with conference realignment, like I'll probably be watching more Big Ten games because, like, Oregon's the team I'm probably going to try and watch every single one of their games because I think they have a legitimate shot to win the national championship. But when there's a team in the SEC that I really latch onto, like an LSU, or when Alabama was rolling, I watched all of their games. When Clemson was rolling a few years ago, I was watching every single one of Clemson's games. Like, obviously
Yeah.
ACC, but still, like, it's just watching good quality teams that you think are going to go far into the playoff, so that, especially for what we do, I need to know who the good teams are. So when I come on here, I have a reason to talk about them and not sound like an idiot.
I think that we in Big Ten land, whether we want to admit it or not, and I've been crucified for this over the years. So if you guys want to start erecting the cross, go right ahead. I think we in Big Ten land have always put our teams on a level that they didn't necessarily deserve to be on. Now, let me catch myself before any of you yell at me. I'm going to repeat, Michigan is the national champion. Okay? Michigan's the national champion. Make no mistake about that. But I think what happens, especially around here, is we take the small and try to make it speak for the big. All right. There's a reason that it was Ohio State 10 years ago and Michigan, 10 years later. You know what I mean? There's a reason why there was such a big gap there. And so many times head to head SEC teams have kind of knocked the snot out of some of these teams, when given the opportunity. But right now, bragging rights. Michigan's got the bragging rights. See, it's different here in Big Ten land than it is down there. Blake, how many times were you watching a game over the past decade where you're at some bowl game and somebody's holding up that SEC logo in the crowd and there are about 50,000 fans chanting SEC, SEC? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We would never do that in Big Ten country. Never, ever, 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 ever,
Well,
ever.
you did
ever.
you did forget, though, my nickname during bowl season was Big Ten Blake.
It was Big Ten, Blake. It was.
I was all riding for the Big Ten.
Yeah. Ben said,
Can
I'll pick between the two, but I'll be 65-70 on the big. Totally
That's
cool.
totally fair.
Yeah, I
100%.
got mocked for. I'm just saying, like back in high school, and some of my old buddies could remember. I remember like telling all my buddies, "There's this guy at LSU named Tommy Hodson. He's so good." Nothing ever became of him, but I fell in love with like LSU in like '87 because it just every week there was this crazy game, and then who was that hick in South Carolina? The kid that came in with a freshman, and he had the long red-haired mullet. And like he came in as a freshman and he won like his first three games in dramatic fashion. And they interviewed him after the game and he looks dead in the camera and he goes, "I ain't ever going to lose a game here at South Carolina." And I'm like, this guy, I am absolutely positively a fan of his till the day I die. And I could see his face and I could see his mullet. And gosh damn it, I can't think of his name and it drives me nuts right now. But like seriously, I mean, you know what? Mike and I were watching that game actually, but this is like 91, 92, and the only thing missing was the dip in his mouth. Oh my gosh, you've come in as a freshman. Who could have? Steve Tannehill. Thank you. I caught myself. Go look him up. Go look up. Well, I want you to find a picture of Steve Tannehill.
I just saw the wheels turning the whole time.
He's got the red mullet, and the only thing missing was the. Oh my gosh, Steve, this has been incredible. You're 3-0 as a true freshman. I ain't never gonna lose in South Carolina. Of course, I think his magic season was 7-4 or something, but that's Gamecock football for you.
Can we respond to Raymond's
You can respond
question?
to anything you want.
Fox or ABC, which is your favorite TV coverage for Big Ten games? Well, ABC doesn't have the Big Ten rights anymore, unfortunately. But I think ABC's coverage blows Fox's out of the water.
Not even close. Not even close.
Herb Street and Fowler are the best in the business, and it's not even close.
Not even close. I'm with you. I still cannot. I'm probably in the minority here because most people get mad at me, but for all the bad things that ESPN does, I still love game day. I do. And I know so many people have turned on it. And I know so many people have turned into, it's turned into a cry fest or a pitch fest or whatever the case may be. I love game day. And most of my friends watch what's it called? The Fox Super
Big
Saturday
Noon Kickoff. It's
good.
horrible.
If you enjoy it. I'm serious. I'm such a creature of habit. I have to have my game day. I have to have my game day. I just do.
I didn't. I'm gonna be honest though. I didn't watch it nearly as much this year because I'm in the camp of I don't think Pat McAfee is good for that show at all because he's not a college football fan
at all.
So
I agree with you. It didn't fit. It didn't work. I didn't like it at all. There were some. Hold on a second. What did Jason say? So. Look how he spelled Burrow too. Did you see that?
That's how he wore it on the back of his jersey on senior night when he came out.
Watch Burrow Tigers with his pants around his ankles.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Tim said in the Southeast, it's about the conference. Here it's the school. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's a conference pride here that we are just not going to root for the other guy in this neck of the woods. We aren't. We're not. That it always makes me laugh when, sometimes scenarios come up and people, well, would you root for Michigan or would you root for Michigan State in this game? And like my answer is always the same. Whatever helps my team most is what I'm going to root for. So that means you'd root for Michigan? If Michigan beating Ohio State means that Michigan State wins the Big Ten, yes. I'm not going to say go color that rhymes with glue, but yes, I want Michigan to win that game. Absolutely, positively. People, they come up with these stupid questions, Blake, and it's not that difficult. What's going to help my team the most? That's the option I want. Drives me out of my mind.
It doesn't. I don't care if it guaranteed eternal life for me. I never will want Ohio State to win a football game ever.
Now, come on.
No.
Come on, seriously?
Okay, eternal life's a little much.
No. Forget the eternal life stuff, okay? Ohio State beating somebody gives you the outright Big Ten championship. Automatic, you're going into the playoffs. You figured you were anyway, but you wouldn't go, man, I hope the Buckeyes win.
Well, Michigan wouldn't have played them yet. That's also the difference.
But what if
that's honestly the difference.
Cinching up the week before.
Didn't
I want the game to mean something.
That's true. No, I do. I want to beat him myself. I don't care. I want to win.
All right.
Well, wasn't that scenario on the table when Michigan and Ohio State played a couple of years ago? And Ohio State boat raced them the K-9 year.
Yeah, it may have been. Yeah, it may have been.
I wanted both teams to lose that day.
Whatever. I mean, to me, it's just, that was so ugly. Oi, that was so ugly.
But I said it after that game. I said Ohio State used up all their points. And I was right.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
And they got smoked.
Nick said game day was at Colorado for like a month straight last year. That bit's
It
not
was
going
big
away.
noon.
I hope you all know that bit's not going away this year. You better get used to it. And they aren't going to be good again. And they're going to cram it down our throats as far as they can.
They might be worse. They genuinely might be a worse team this year.
They might be.
Because they've had a bunch of guys leave.
Yeah. Ray said Fox has guys who were stars that seemed not that long ago. Urban makes it harder to watch Fox. Tim said I'd rather be shot.
I was going to say something inappropriate. You know what? It was good that you cut me off there.
Tim said I would rather be shot than pull for OSU or MSU. I don't know if it means my team wins a conference. Totally cool. I don't care. What's best for my team? That's my first thought in my head. What's best for my team? You know, I don't care about what you're doing. Ray said, Blake, if Burrow stayed at Ohio State, would you have a different tune?
Yeah, obviously.
Maybe.
Yeah. 100%.
Maybe.
Any Buckeye that tries to claim him when he didn't, like, what did he play, like 4 snaps there? Just another Ryan Day coaching failure. That's all I have to say about that.
This is, you guys at home could play a little game. This is, what's that game, the Kevin Bacon game, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? Like with Blake and I, it's like, how many different degrees does it take Blake and I to get back to college football? It's not many, right? It's not many.
I really can't wait until the fall when we can just nerd out about this and it's not just us going on wild, like wherever the hell. How did we get here?
I have no idea.
Thursday night football, I think.
And honestly, I don't give a crap. I don't. I don't give a crap. I'm glad. Are you kidding me?
College football is our breaking case of emergency button. Whenever we need something to talk about, it's just, the Tigers didn't play today? College football.
People used to be the joke about that with hockey with me, but now I'm with you and we can talk college football. Well, here's the thing, okay? There are not a lot of objective people in this market and a lot of objective and knowledgeable people. So that's why Blake and I hit it off right away. Like, seriously, I mean, objective and knowledgeable. There aren't, honestly, if you think about it, Slapalicious seems to be the hit of the day. You know what I mean? Guys are slappies. And I still think that it's gotten a lot better in the last 30 years, but there are a lot of people that don't want to look beyond the fence to see what is going on in other yards in college football. And that never made sense to me. That never, ever made sense.
No, you didn't catch you and I, even like the perfect example was last year, Colorado.
Yeah.
You and I weren't up late texting about Colorado.
Nope.
We were up late. Good. No. And we knew
that first week, you got to give them a tip of the cap. That was a huge upset. I don't care. Nobody saw that
and it was
coming.
A fun game to watch.
Right. But other than that, like, come on. Let's see. Eric said we own the Buckeyes. They do. There's no doubt about that. Tim said that might be my only one exception. One of them indirectly helping Michigan. Yeah, that's if it has nothing to do with your team, I'm with you. Why would I ever root for you people? But if it helps my team, are you kidding me? Yes, go take care of business. Ray said, Sean, any idea why the Phil Steele book isn't out anymore? I love that book. Can't wait for NCAA 24. Phil is working on it right now, as a matter of fact. I know he is. I think a lot of times you have to order it. It seems like I don't see it in magazine places too much anymore. Like you used to be able to go to any kind of magazine place and pick up your magazines. I just order it directly from Phil's people. And then Ben said, Ray, that book is at Barnes & Noble's every year, comes out to press in like 8 days. There's your answer. I don't see it everywhere anymore. Remember, used to back in the day, you could go and whether it be CVS or showing my age,
Kroger.
Arbor Drugs, and they had that big magazine thing. I don't see that too much anymore. So that's the way it goes. Can I tell you about All About Catering?
Mm-hmm.
I need to tell you about All About Catering. All About Catering, LLC, is a full-service caterer. They have taken care of my family multiple times. They can take care of your family, your wedding, bridal shower, corporate event, anything you need catering for from 25 to 4,000 people. All About Catering will take care of you as they took care of me. Customer service and satisfaction is their number one goal. Do not sweat your next big event. Just go to allaboutcateringllc.com to see their menus and their 5-star reviews. One of them from me. Or call 586-731-1398. That's 586-731-1398 to get your event started. Let them do the work for you. You will be glad that they did. Rick and the gang, great people, great food. No doubt about that. Phil said, I love the Phil Steele book. Ben said, Pick Six previews. That's outstanding. You follow them, don't you, Blake? Pick Six preview on Twitter. Are you familiar with their work? Yeah, they're pretty good too. Ray said, damn sucks. It's not in Canada. Used to be at most variety stores. Yeah, they're kind of going away with the magazines. And I get it. Like, I always used to laugh, like when fantasy football got really big. I always knew the guy walking into the fantasy draft with his little fantasy magazine. It's almost like Shawshank Redemption. And I know this means nothing to you because you don't watch movies, Blake, but I would go, fresh fish, fresh fish. You walk into a draft with like one of those books and it's like, okay, you're a newbie, baby. But I'm old school like that. I love getting those preseason mags, dude. I love it. I mean, it's my son always laughs. One goes in the throne room and one goes in the office. Like, are you kidding me? That's how you study the teams, right?
I just followed it. That's what I was doing on my phone.
See what Ben said? Look what a nice human Ben is. See that? You see that link on there?
Yeah. Ben's my friend. I like Ben.
Ben's a quality human being. So listen, tomorrow we got a watch party here. Thursday, special show coming. All right. I'm going to surprise you guys. How's that? Friday, I think Blake and I are going to do a show, and I got to do a show for the Coaches Association from the MHSAA. I know our buddy Ben is very familiar with that group as well. But yeah, you can order your magazines. You can get them digital. You can get them hard copy. I still, Blake, when I go to one of the big convenience stores, I will go by Lindy's. I will go by Athlon's. I'll buy the usual suspects when I see them. Because I mean, to me, I can't have enough of those magazines. I'm serious. I can't have enough of those magazines. So
yeah.
All right. We got to get out of here in a second, but before we go, we have to tell you about our friend Lindsay Broadwell. When it's time to sell your house, whether you're buying, selling, both, you need to contact the right agent. Who's that agent? That lady right there, Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up here on the mean streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of the business. Now, when it's time for you to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyer, seller, first-time buyers, doesn't matter. Make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com, and she will help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Tim said, last time I got a fantasy football rag, I got all the players because I got all the wrong players because I listen to them. They're usually outdated. That's the one thing about those fantasy football magazines. They're outdated, right?
You would know better than me. You were the fantasy football expert.
I got tired of it, though. I told you that. I openly admit it. I just got I started in 1989, and then I told the one problem I really had was with ESPN, because ESPN at one point in time, and some of our older viewers can vouch for this, they were openly mocking people like me. They really were. Fantasy football was a joke, and don't you talk about fantasy. And then all of a sudden one year, when they realized how big it was, they started to tell everybody that they were the fantasy expert and the worldwide leader and all of that stuff. So yeah, that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. All right, anything
Yeah,
what
I have one more thing that I just wanted to tell you.
what do you want to tell me?
I just wanted to again remind everyone to please subscribe to our YouTube channel,
All right.
especially with all the fun stuff that Sean was previewing for the week. We would love to get everyone over there on the YouTube channel, watch on YouTube, subscribe, like the
Nice.
video, do all that fun stuff. We got new stuff coming this week. Allegedly, from what I'm hearing, there's rumblings of some new content coming.
New show.
So
Shep and I are working on something too. So we're
good.
busy the next few days, dude.
Yeah. So go check out the YouTube. It's at Unsyndicated Pod on YouTube. Check it out. Grow our subscribers. And if you miss the shows, you can also subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcasts, we have them up there. So please go check them out. 86% of our YouTube viewers are not subscribed. That's BS. That just made me so mad. Todd, why'd you tell me that?
What is that? What did
86% of people that watch our YouTube videos are not subscribed to the YouTube channel. It's one button.
Could you do me a favor? Seriously, just hit subscribe. I don't know what any of this stuff, like he just spoke about 2 minutes straight of Portuguese to me. I didn't understand a word of it.
Subscriber good.
But I
Sean.
understand subscribe. I understand.
Good.
Yeah. Can you just press that little button that says subscribe?
That's it. It's right below us right now.
Yes. Thank you. All right, you guys, you take care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow. We're just hanging out in my basement. I don't even know what I'm going to make yet. So, but I know I'll have food. All right, Blake, always a pleasure, my friend. Todd, thank you. Thanks to all of you. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Peace.
Off the Air with Sean Baligian, featuring Sean Baligian and Blake Majchrzak. Produced by Todd Losey and Blake Majchrzak. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Play It Loud by Jam Studio. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Off the Air with Sean Baligian on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.